Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video. Right.
Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm back, but not really. And I don't have any audio equipment because I am talking to you from my new laptop that I got as a birthday present. Yes, God. Just imagine the woo, yeah, in the background right now. What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for all the birthday wishes. Thank you guys so much for sending money because I appreciate it and I be needing it because I don't pretend like I have money like everybody else. Okay. So I appreciate y'all very, 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 very much. Why is you
I just want to
sneaking
see
in
how
my
I look.
life?
I'm sorry.
Don't be sneaking in my life.
Really good quality.
It is, right? Okay, so y'all know I just came back from Houston because I had a birthday trip and I'm trying to convince Lyric to move out there because I'm just tired of living in New Orleans at this point. Um, and then I went and got a grill. Let me show y'all. Uh, uh, okay, you see? I think the neighbors think I'm selling dope. So yeah, I got okay, I got it. All right. Just real cute. Just real cute right quick. Real cute right quick. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But it's hard to talk with this shit in my mouth. So when y'all see me out, remember you don't know me. Okay, so don't be expecting me to be doing all that fucking talking if you see me with this girl in my mouth. Okay, stop it. All right. Um, listen, we might come to Houston. Because Houston's so big, it's just a lot. But if I can get a house with a up recently updated type situation in a pool, which I think I can, okay. Girl, yeah, listen, we about to sell this house and be the fuck on out. Okay. Y'all can have it. Good day. Good day.
Good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
Good day,
Okay.
sir.
But I was on Instagram and I was just kind of, telling everybody about the birthday festivities. We fell in love with a really great restaurant called Clark's Oyster Bar. I was really upset on the way back home that there is no equivalent to me here. Like there are good oyster bars. Y'all know I go up for certain oyster bars, but bitch, they weren't giving what Clark's Oyster Bar was giving. So shout out to them. We went there twice, and I really wanted to go there thrice. I'm gonna say it again, okay? Clark's was nice, so I'll say it thrice. Clark's was nice. Clark's was nice. Clark's was nice. Like, okay, catch the reference, bitch. Yes, the houses are very reasonable. Yes, and that's what I was like. And this is what I want y'all to understand. Like, because somebody said the same thing on the Instagram live about how hot it is in Houston. I'm like, I'm coming from New Orleans. It's hot here too, money. My girl drunk. No, I'm not drunk. I had one shot. Who's drunk? What's wrong? Am I acting drunk?
No.
No? Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, I appreciate the validation that people be trying me. No, I'm just coming on vacation. I am just very relaxed and very
Yeah.
okay, very happy. But trust me, it's gonna get turned up and get very direct. Um, because I have been paying attention to what's been going on the internet, girl. So when I come to y'all tomorrow for a Bondi Blue show, then we'll discuss. And also, y'all not gonna get Real Housewives of Atlanta this week. Don't even worry about it. I'll come back next week. Like y'all know the Sunday episode that's coming on this weekend because tomorrow is Friday. Okay. Well, next week when we do that one, we can discuss. We can discuss. We'll discuss this week's episode and the next week. We'll do a 2-for-1er next week. But I'm not running it back because I don't even care. I don't know what's going on. It's on right now, and I still don't really know what's going on. So I know I'm gonna have to watch it again, and I don't care to do it tomorrow. I don't have time to. So I'll just be doing a Bondi Blue show tomorrow, and we'll be talking about all of the things, right? My birthday was Monday. Okay, my birthday was Monday. We had an amazing time. Shout out to my husband. Because like, mwah. Shout out to my cousin Matoki for hosting, my cousin Ashia for coming through. Okay, cousin Kendra for coming through. Child, we just had a good time. The dogs were with us. It was just family. It was enjoyment. It was, just living good, girl, just enjoying life. Okay, ain't out here doing too much but doing just enough. Okay, just enough for the city. Stupid ass child. That be a New Jack City and a motherfucking Martin reference all in one. Didn't he say that shit? He said that shit on Thin Line Between Love and Hate. And living just living enough for the city. Him and Bobby Brown hyping each other up on some bullshit. I gotta watch that just to see Bobby Brown humping them women on the dance floor. Mm. I really want Angela to stop wearing wigs when it's so hot. Mm. Anyway, so we went shooting. I'm still good at shooting. Okay, because I haven't been shooting in a long time, and we went to Range USA, and you know what I'm saying, did some things. I shot with a 9 and with a 22, and was very surprised to find that the 9 had a harder kickback than the 22. But it was harder to put bullets in a 9 than it was a 22. So I feel like I would buy another 22 because it's just easier. It's just an easier gun. And even more so, I am now made aware that Tory Lanez lied to y'all. I don't care what nobody, the security guard that said, I don't give a fuck what nobody's talking about. The effort it takes to shoot at somebody's feet, is that Justin? And connect? Yay. Yay. No. No. Just no. Just no. It's really God. That is Justin. It's really God that Megan is alive. Like, I just want to tell y'all that. Like, I don't know what kind of God some of y'all believe in, but if there was a God that was out here creating miracles to save people that belong to him, as y'all like to say, then Megan Thee Stallion is one of God's people, Jesus. Because the way you can be trying to shoot at something and them bullets just be going every which a goddamn way. Do you hear me? Okay. So yeah, y'all, I'm not. I just want y'all to know I have seen this, concerted effort to spread all of this, previous evidence that can be skewed to his defense, and it's been posted, but it has not been filed, and everybody's been online talking about it. At this point, I want Megan to just start suing people. I don't even want to have these conversations anymore. So I'm just saying, like, if I talk about it, it is not going to be in a way that we're going to be discussing the facts of the situation. Because what we now understand is that the facts of the situation don't matter as long as somebody can reintroduce you to a lie. As long as everybody can keep reintroducing y'all to a fucking lie, something we've already heard, but since some of y'all pretend y'all don't know what the fuck going on, we gon', okay, fine, bitch. I'm not arguing with nobody no more. Somebody was on Threads talking about you don't want the truth. I mean, if he's found not, what the fuck? The trial already happened, ho. Where were you? The trial already happened, ho. Like, he's not up to be reconsidered. Like, this is not an appeal process we going through. This is his lawyers putting misinformation out, paying other people to put misinformation out on the internet. Since when he did it, it didn't work. So now we got the weird ass Florida chick and somebody on the news down here, and now Amber Rose and her forehead tattoo, and and Ray J's online telling y'all that Diddy's gonna get off. Let me tell y'all, Diddy is not getting off. Diddy might get pardoned. Diddy's not getting off. For everybody that keep acting like they don't understand what a RICO is, I was reading CNN today, and they sitting up there talking about, oh, I don't know if we can say this is this is an organized enterprise. I'm like, you don't know this is an organized enterprise at this point? You ain't picked that up yet? Then I saw somebody, I think it might have been Tasha, What the fuck y'all posting a picture of the bottom of Megan's feet for? That's the type of shit that work on my nerves, because at the end of the day, I've seen the picture of the hole on the side of her foot. So like it's not hard to find that picture too if you're gonna post the bottom of a bitch feet to show that wasn't nothing wrong with the bottom of the feet, meaning that nobody stepped in glass. That's what that really should mean to y'all. The bottom of her feet having nothing wrong with them means that she didn't step in any glass. The way y'all keep trying to act, running that video back of her saying she stepped in glass, knowing she was just trying to protect him. Them motherfuckers on in the comments talking about, I wish I would try to protect somebody that shot me. Bitch, you on the internet arguing on behalf of Tory is the same thing, bitch. It's the same thing. I'm telling y'all, when I was watching Real with Yanni, we driving back home, and even she, she was saying, I feel like it's like this effort to attack black women. Like as black women, it feels collectively like we're being attacked. And the fucked up part is that you're not even really just being attacked from the opposite sex or from white people or from the government or the presidency or any of this other shit that is a threat to us. Oh no. Now we have to be worrying about the extreme weird pick me ass bitches online, that even if like, because in real life, y'all, I can deal with people who not really involved in any of this shit, not knowing what's going on and just hearing what a lot of people are saying and running with it. I could have that conversation with somebody in real life. But on the internet, the way y'all repeat this stupid shit, like actually make efforts to type it, like that's what we gotta stop. That's what we gotta stop. Y'all have got to stop getting on the internet arguing with people with lies that you've heard when people actually know the facts of how somebody ended up in jail. What are we even talking about? With Diddy, the craziest thing about the Diddy thing is that did we not see him fuck over his all of his artists, all of his employees? And that's the thing for me. Like listening to the security guards and the assistants talk about not getting any sleep, and if you tired, you fired, and working to the point of exhaustion and going to the ER. Like, bruh,
You tired, you fired.
Capricorn Clark said in 3 months,
Take that.
with only being paid $65,000 a year, she racked up $80,000 in overtime in 3 months because she was only getting 4 hours of sleep, and he wasn't giving her time to sleep. She just would get to sleep whenever he did. And let's not forget, he's on all of the uppers in the world. Diddy is on all of the uppers in the goddamn world, and expecting everybody else to stay awake while he high on meth and whatever the fuck else, coke, everything, girl, everything. They said his little duffel bag had all of the drugs in it, bitch. Okay, that little Louis Vuitton duffel bag that he got had all of the narcotics that you could ask for in there. It's ridiculous. And I definitely think that Trump would pardon him. I think we would go through all of this. He would get convicted because anybody that actually can read and pay attention to evidence can see that that nigga's guilty. Um, but outside of that, he will get convicted and then possibly get pardoned because he was like this with Trump at some point and still talking about how much he enjoyed going to that specific hotel. It's ridiculous. But you know what? I feel like, what feels good though, and I noticed this, what feels good about it is finding the women and the men that are willing to speak out about this shit. The discourse around Beyonce on TikTok, who I have I followed him within the past few months. So I've been following him for a minute. He always has great takes that most of these niggas would not agree with, but it's what makes sense. And it's crazy how when you hear a man saying all of the same shit I say, it's like, oh, now it makes sense. When the women say this shit, nobody listens. A nigga get up there and say the shit, and now y'all paying attention and shit. That's fine. Do your thing. Okay? Do your thing. I don't care how you arrive to the conclusion, as long as you get there. I don't care who needed to be on your frequency in order to get you there. I'm glad you ended up there. But it is sometimes annoying in a way that white people can do shit that black people can't do, like take our style and not be called ghetto. It is sometimes annoying that black women's intellect and feelings and expressions of their experiences are taken by men sometimes, in fact, to be an ally, but it's then only listened to when it's them and not when it's us saying it. And that's not, that's not shades to Deontay or any other man that's speaking on behalf of women, because we need y'all to do that and we want you to do that. And it's so great and it feels so good to see it. It feels so good to see it. It's great when you're scrolling and the people that you follow are saying the same shit you're saying. Because the comments under some of these posts, the blogs that post, like, the energy is toxic, the energy is fucked up, and the energy gives that if you were at a party with these people and a nigga wanted to drug and assault you, everybody would just look up the other way and act like nothing happened. That's what the energy gives on the internet. That everybody would just let it happen. Just like people did in real life. Just like people did in real life. They was one of the assistants, the David assistant, was talking about how he pretended like he didn't hear Cassie asking, "Is anybody seeing this? Somebody help me." Yeah, I saw Trump pardon young boy. That's why it was like sometimes I wish I could save some of the pages on Instagram of real people that come and talk shit to me, because they love talking shit to me, right? And it's a lot of them motherfuckers that actually follow me over here, and they know that they can't really argue with me here, so they wait to see me in some comments, like they was waiting outside the fucking school for me to turn the corner so that they can, try to sucker punch me or some shit. It's weird, right? But I wish I could save pictures of y'all sometimes, because I remember somebody telling me that I was stupid, that I was slow. And they only use that word with me because I use it with them. I be peeping them. But they was calling me dumb for saying that Diddy could possibly be pardoned by Trump. And then Trump come up behind and pardon fucking Larry Hoover. That's another thing. I'm gonna need for black men to get new role models. The fact that the only reason Larry Hoover got pardoned from one of his crimes, not all, bitch, one of his crimes, they on the internet making y'all think that nigga about to get out. Meanwhile, before they got him on, because I had to go look it up, bitch, because y'all know I don't like not knowing what I'm talking about, like some of y'all. They said that nigga was in jail. So first of all, he got arrested for murder in like 1973. And then in 1995, after the FBI in the prison did a fucking investigation, they found out that Larry Hoover was still running his gang from behind bars and had brought in like $100 million from the organization while he was in jail. So yeah, they got him pardoned for that charge, but he still got to serve 200 years for the murder of the drug dealer that he picked up off the street out of an alleyway, threw in a trunk, and blew his brains out. And the funny part is how many black men are like championing this. Like, you want to act like somebody changed, even though they were still running a criminal enterprise from behind prison walls. Like, it really goes to show that putting people in jail sometimes doesn't mean shit. And everybody always talking about, oh, call the police, call the police, call the police. And what we have come to find is that sometimes when you call the police are excited to meet your perpetrator. So they forget what they there for. Shout out to Diddy. But in these situations, you put a motherfucker in jail and they still are able to run a prison because everybody can be paid. Because you live in a capitalist survivalist system. People would be able to stand on they so-called morals a little bit more if they weren't being starved out in the streets and paying $8 for eggs at the grocery store. Y'all want to ask yourselves the difference between now and the civil rights movement, why it was easier for people to stick to their true feelings about shit. Racists seem to be more racist back then. Black people seem to be more willing to stick together back then. And it was literally because the struggling wasn't the same. The way we're struggling now is a little bit more severe, because if you look at it, that the 60s and shit, that's the time of the boomers. The boomers are the ones that made the most money out of everybody. All of the generations, the boomers made the most money, y'all. And the boomers are the ones that went through the civil rights movement. I think that's very interesting. But yeah, apparently Drake and and Kanye were trying to get Larry Hoover out of jail or get him pardoned. And niggas is online. I remember when I told y'all LeBron James looked like a fucking idiot, excited for Meech to get out of jail. Like, look at you being the nerdy basketball kid that wished he was able to go out and be with the drug dealers in the early 2000s, but you needed to go to fuck home because you had a career in the future. Now you're like, yeah, Larry, now Larry Hoover, now what's the other nigga name? Big Meech is getting out of jail. Big Meech get out of jail and look like he been fucking niggas while he was in. I'm sorry, y'all. I think it is hilarious the way y'all pump up these men that do these terrible things, and y'all hate gay people. It's better for a person to be a murderer than to be gay, and them niggas go to jail and come out looking what? Gay. You can say whatever the fuck you want to, but everybody needs human touch, and niggas are hoes. And if you think in the dark night of a prison wall that a nigga not gonna fuck another nigga, and as those men get older, they lose testosterone. So you put losing testosterone, prison life, and fucking niggas all in one, and now your heroes getting out of jail looking real malnourished and funny looking, real real black eyeliner and mascara, bitch. Shit look outlined for no reason. I don't even understand what's going on with the braids and the eyebrows and the mustache, bitch. And listen, ain't nothing wrong. Babe, please kill it. I ain't nothing wrong. Like, people, be who you gonna be, baby. I ain't never hating on you, but I just think it's funny, like how homophobic these men are. At the same time, they uplift these very, like, toxic, violent men that will eventually become the very thing that they hate. Very interesting. It's just very interesting. You saw that motherfucking mustache. And I ain't trying to put myself out there like that, but y'all see some niggas from, Louisiana that then got out of jail and came home, and what everybody thought when they saw them. Niggas go in jail being your wayward cousin, come out being your wayward auntie. I don't know what be going on. But yeah, so there's that. What else is going on besides that? I think I referenced that little India Love chick. That shit, I was like, why she got bags under her eyes like that? She look older than me. And bitch, I'm 37. It's just a key, y'all. It's just a key and a key. Just enjoy the vibe, bitch. Okay. Um, what else is going on? What else was I looking at? Oh, okay. So y'all know, like, ever since they was about to I don't know why this works on me, but y'all want to talk about a manipulation that work on me? Okay, because I'm a real person too, and I be out here being manipulated and being brainwashed just like everybody else sometimes. But I make a concerted effort to, like, investigate my mindset on things, and that's how I continue to evolve and grow out of these things. Okay, but like a nigga saying he gonna quit and then he gonna do one last thing and then be gone will catch me every time. It worked with TikTok. I was really not paying attention to TikTok like that until it was a threat that the shit was gonna disappear, and then I was like, man, let me go see what these hoes talking about. Yes, man, exactly. I wasn't paying attention to Jay-Z until the blackout came out. Then it became like, oh, wait a minute, let me go back. And I hate to say it, but that weird, possibly problematic nigga is my favorite rapper outside of Big Crit. Outside of Big Crit. And the other problematic nigga is Biggie, the Notorious B.I.G. Shout out to the fact that me and him got real close birthdays. Okay, I think Biggie's the 27th, the day after mine. The struggle is real now. Thank you for giving the boomers props. Nah, dead ass. But not too many props though, because the shit was easier for you. Believe it or not. And that's the funny part. Like the cost of living, like how much people were paying for shit, how much y'all were, boomers were actually getting paid back in the day. Um, a lot of the systems that were protecting boomers as workers back in the day have now been dismantled by all of your favorite Republicans and shit. Like it's the wildest thing how the unions will end up being mostly Republicans and they will still be voting against their own self-interest. It's the weirdest shit. Jay is mid. That's disrespectful and I won't allow it. Please remove yourself. Okay? I don't like the blasphemy. I really don't. I don't know what you need a rapper to be. But at the end of the day, like that's just disrespectful to say that Jay is mid. Like I don't even understand that. Like
If Jay is me, yeah, is me.
that would be. Oh my god! Why you took the words out my mouth?
Yeah, we all know, yeah.
You took the words out my mouth. I was just about to say, nigga, Kanye is mid, and we want to talk about Drake is mid. Wayne after
Wayne
20.
never was me.
Nah, I can't even. Not even now.
Wait, still, now, man.
Yeah.
He may not. He may not. He
When's the
may
last
not
time I heard anything?
have substance
As he
as
used
one.
to.
Yeah,
And that's
so
why, and to me, that will make you mid. Like if you actually did at some point rap about something that meant something, and then all of a sudden you just start rapping metaphors that don't really make no sense all the time. Like it's just repeated metaphors that sound good in the moment. It's a bunch of one-liners thrown together. The shit he was able to create when we were in college is different to me. And I feel like that's not mid at all. That was so special. This shit,
and I feel like he done that for a very long time because he started so young. You know what I'm
20,
saying?
20, yeah. Well, no, not really, because there wasn't no real thought in the early
Let's say
years.
from 90. No, but I mean still
Come
not
on now.
mediocre.
Not mediocre, but he wasn't beating Juvie.
No, we're not talking about
No,
that.
but
But
I'm
but
just saying, like,
I was
when
just
it
saying,
comes to
as
like
far as
where he, like when he was
yeah,
at the actual best of it, is like this
yeah.
after Hot Boys, Katrina years, little bit after rock era. After the rock era, I feel like he was showing up doing features and shit, but it wasn't the same. And then of course, like nigga, they made their money, then worked their ass off. They deserve to go take a break, but you also not taking care of yourself. So you're not able to still make your music in the same capacity. But yeah, yeah, boomer here. I graduated college with less than $2,000 in debt, pay under 40,000 for my house. Exactly. Exactly. Like we're still in debt from college, and and we own this house, and this house is what under 200K. Like, like it's hard out here for a millennial, and the fact that I look this young, girl, it just says so much about how I am being blessed and highly favored. Oh my god. And I still feel like my cortisol levels might be high. But anyway, girl, I feel like that's why I want to move, because it's real hard down here in New Orleans. Like this shit, and it's not worth it. Like it's not worth how hard it is sometimes. Like right now, why is there a termite flying around in my house giving me the motherfucking heebie-jeebies? Wouldn't have to deal with this shit if I didn't live here. See what I'm saying? Anyway, I know, right? Come on, 37 and not a wrinkle in sight, child. It's girl, Tanya just got wrinkles. Like my mama just got wrinkles in her 60s. I think as long as I keep finding ways to take care of myself, I'll be okay. So what else happened? We're gonna talk about tomorrow. Y'all know I'm gonna run it back tomorrow, and I'm gonna pull up all of the shit and gonna play the videos, and I'm gonna do the whole thing tomorrow. But I want to say for the women that are on just hilarious side, um, whenever you stop wanting to feel like this has something to do with you, Like whenever you like be tired of that part, then you could get to this part where I feel like I'm at right now. Cause I feel like I'm the same type of person. It's very logical. Men have penises, women have vaginas. But then you start to understand, and this is what we have a hard time understanding because we're born into these ideals. The way we view that is made up. The way we view that is made up. In history, previous to colonialization, there were not sexes. And people were able to, like, everybody wasn't man, woman prior to colonialization. It really wasn't. People really were able to drift in and out of these identities, regardless to what their parts were, right? So I feel, because there are other cultures where you could read about this historically. There have been cultures that had a whole bunch of different genders, because just because you had a penis doesn't mean that you were masculine all the time. Like that's not what that means. Just like just because you are a female, it doesn't mean that you are feminine all the time. And I feel like once people understand that all of this shit is happening in a perspective, like in a spectrum and from a specific perspective of your own. But like if you have a uterus, you can have kids. That's what my crush Lene Vanice said. Okay. If you have a uterus, then yes, you can have children. And because I have a trans male friend that had a baby, and because I know that cisgendered women have babies, I know it to be true that you don't have to be a woman in order to have a baby. Because my friend cut his breast off in order to transition. That's a firm decision, my nigga. But at the end of the day, if one still wants to experience having a child, and that is the easiest and cheapest way to do it, then that's what the fuck people gonna do. It doesn't mean that they want what it means to be a woman in our society. And that's what I think is like missing in this. I think people don't, and listen, me myself personally, I'm saying myself personally, I don't know why anybody would want to be a nigga. Not for real. Not for real. I really, like, personally, I don't. But I also understand and respect other people's choices, that their experience is not mine, and vice versa. And just as I will want respect in whatever my decisions are about my life and how I perform my gender, whatever, I don't want anybody telling me about how to perform my version of life. And so I feel like we shouldn't be telling other people how to perform their version of life. And I think sometimes women feel like something is being taken from them. And I just want y'all to remind, I just want to remind you guys, yes, intersex people are real. I want to remind you guys that if it sounds like something a racist white person would think or say to a black person, it's probably not the right way to think. And the same way that Just Hilarious and women who think like her, it's the same thing as like white people thinking that black people are going to erase them. Like, you know how white people are like deathly afraid? That's why they're so racist, is because they have this fear that they're going to be erased. And they have a fear that what they have done to other people will come back on them. So they're always in this very defensive mode and projecting all of these things on to black people that are really true about themselves, like being lazy and being violent and being barbaric. Like all of those things are more true about the colonizers than it is about any of the people that they actually colonized, right? So you have to remember that if it is something that is happening like a racist white person would think, and racist white people have a feeling and a fear that they're going to be erased by black people. As black people, we should understand how ridiculous this is for them to harm us or impede our process simply out of a fear that one day white people won't be here. You won't be here anyway. I don't know what fucking difference it makes. It is the same type of mindset about you believing that a trans woman is taking your place, when the truth of the matter is, scientifically, there is no way for that to happen. And another thing is that what comes with being a woman in our society is sometimes oppressive, and nobody wants to live like that. What I mean is, like, I feel like what comes along with being a woman is a lot of pressure to be attractive in a certain manner. If you are not a beautiful woman, if you are not perceived as a beautiful woman, if you don't have certain types of features, if you don't have a certain type of hair type, you will be made to feel like you are not as attractive. And when you live in a space of not being as attractive, it is a hard space to live in as a woman when your femininity and being seen as a woman is tied to being attractive. Meaning that if you are not conventionally attractive for somebody, they might say you're not a woman. And that's another thing. Just hilarious getting up there talking, posting her belly and all of this. Oh, women have babies. Yes, bitch, women do have babies. But this is what I need for you to understand. When you act like what makes you a woman is you having a baby, you negate all of the women who choose not to have babies, who cannot have babies, and who have lost babies and can no longer try to have them. It almost, and you always, there's always this thought of, oh yeah, of course they can. Okay, but then that's the reason why you can't go around saying that you having a certain reproductive system is what makes you a woman, because sometimes, especially once we get older, us being a woman being tied to our ability to have children is a mistake that we don't want to push it's a corner we're pushing ourselves into, because as we get older we can no longer have children. That's why if it scares us and it makes us feel so bad to get old, because it means separating us from what makes us beautiful, separating us from what makes us women. And that is not true, because the wisdom and the beauty that resides inside women does not go away when they are no longer able to have children. And that is why you can't go around thinking that being a woman is solely about your reproductive ability. You cannot go around thinking that, because it will push you into a corner that allows somebody else to tell you what a woman is, when what a woman is should be specific to you and how you experience your womanhood. It's really hard to get to that place, but you have to be willing to, y'all. And me personally, it took me a minute to get there, but I'm there now. I'm there now. I see it. I got it. Because I always want to be a safe space, first of all. And I also don't want to be a bigot. I know what it's like to be on the other side of that, and I don't want to make anybody else feel like that. That's the reason why I will continue to try to unwrap myself from the things that bind me, or the things that make me feel like I'm showing up like some ignorant, white person that is just so scared that some black person is going to take something from them just by existing. Just by existing, you feel that I'm impeding on something when really you the motherfucker bothering me. Excuse me. So, yeah, y'all, I really want better for us, because I think some of these ideas really fuck us up. And we'll get into the whole more of the conversation tomorrow, because I really want to get into how the situation happened. But just as an overall feeling, and where I've come to in my mind about this, and how it is okay that we are always changing, excuse me, and we don't always have the same thought process about things. Those of us who have gotten to the point of having a certain understanding, sometimes we can't go back and pull the rest of y'all with us. Y'all just have to get here when y'all get here, because some of y'all are not receiving it. You don't want to receive it. And it's because internally you're rejecting it. You're not trying to hear it. You're not trying to understand it. And you don't understand that it is coming from a place of you trying to control somebody else's life and perspective because of um your own fear that something is being taken away from you, and that is not rooted in anything real, and it's a part of the problem in a whole range of ways. So for instance, for me, the way my family dynamic worked, and my father trying so hard to control everybody around him to the point of pushing us away. To me, that's the same thing with the way we're handling our understanding of womanhood and what it means to be male, female, woman, man. and how that is different, and how that's different from sexuality, and how once we understand these differences, we can stop trying to put everybody in a box that binds them. Once y'all stop feeling like being outside of being a straight person, male or female, once y'all get out of feeling like that's the only way that somebody can be, that's the only way they're supposed to be, then y'all will stop having such an angry and rejective response to people that don't show up like that. Because in life, people are not going to always show up exactly how you think they should. And it is a control thing for you to feel like that they should have to try to figure out how to perform themselves the way you want them to perform themselves. And that's about what they wear and how they color their nails, or how they do their hair, or how they talk, or how they walk, or how they pop their hip or don't, or how they move their neck. Just like for Black women, stop policing us with the way we move. Why I can't have my hand on my hips? Why I can't move my neck? Why can my body not move in rhythm and tandem with the words I'm saying the way I do it? I should be able to do me the way I do me. And I feel like that rule of me doing me the way I want to do me, so I'm going to respect the way anybody else wants to do them, especially if it is not harming anybody else. And it cannot be an unrealistic harm, meaning that a harm you're making up in your mind because you're personally bothered by somebody else just minding their business but existing in a space that you don't understand or don't like. That's not the same thing as somebody actually doing something to you. Those are not the same things. It's the same thing as a Karen running up on Black people in a park and acting like somebody's doing something to her because she doesn't want you to be there. You see how these things can keep translating to racism? Like, that's because it's the same system just being perpetuated in a different flavor, in a different font. So if you can understand it about racism, everybody that want to be so fucking pro-Black, if you can understand it about racism, then you should be able to eventually get yourself to understanding it about women and men and about LGBTQ people. And I'm saying that because I'm really starting to hate that term, because really it's just people that don't show up how y'all think they should. That's really all it is. Motherfuckers got to find all these labels just so that they can have some representation, so that y'all don't feel like it's okay to other them because they don't show up like you want them to. And then the flipping of this whole agenda shit, as if everybody is not being beat, bullied, ostracized into being straight. Like, it's so weird the way y'all act like there are not schools and torture camps that they send kids to so that they can not be gay. Like, it's really unrealistic the way y'all act like gay characters in cartoons and television shows that you don't have to watch is an agenda being pushed on you, but y'all beating these kids, telling them that you're not raising no gay kids, saying you're gonna go upside their head, kicking them out the household so they gotta go out in the street and sell their bodies in order to make it, because they can't get a job, because it's hard to get a job when you don't have a fucking address. Child, I was on the other side of TikTok. Kids need to be kids, yes, but a part of being a kid is figuring these things out. A part of being a kid is figuring these things out, figuring out body parts, figuring out what you like, figuring out what is attractive to you. The fact that everybody becomes adults and acts like they were not looking at other kids' private parts, exploring their own, masturbating. Like, niggas really be out here acting like they didn't see porn when they was like 6 years old. Niggas is really acting like they don't know boys that had sex with older girls at 9, 10, 11. Like, I want y'all to be fucking for real and just have real conversations that are child and kid appropriate with people about the fact that when your children come into the world, there are other people that show up another way, and that is okay. And you should figure out how you show up, and we will support you in doing that. Excuse me. All the time within reason, all the time in being, well thought out, all of that shit. But like, be fucking for real. Be fucking for real. Most of y'all are not actually dealing with trans people, and y'all really be out here wilding the fuck out, voting terribly because of it. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's like, yeah, I want a tyrant that's gonna destroy all of my rights and make it harder for me to live in this country and make the value of living go down. Yeah, I want that because that's gonna hurt the trans people. Motherfuckers are stupid. That's y'all business. But that's stupid. That's just stupid. It's just not smart. And I'm somebody that feel like there are ways for us not to be trying to destroy each other at every turn just because we're not the same, just because we're different. And that includes how we show up in this world. The way you decide to perform your femininity. Women are different, right? Some women are a little sporty, some women are girly, some women are feisty, some women are sexy, some women are nerdy, some women are homely. Like, we all perform our femininity as women in different ways, which means it's not all the same thing for everybody, and being a woman is different for everybody. So stop telling people what a woman is so that you can tell another woman what she's not and then hurt her. Because y'all know this happens to real women. I didn't even know this, but I saw a story about a black woman who was killed, the older black woman who was killed because some nigga thought she was trans, and he had a bad experience with a trans person. So he comes and shoots and kills this woman. I think he shot her. I think he shot her or slit her throat. Something I can't remember, child. So many stories I was looking at. Kills this woman because he thought she was trans and she was not. So once you understand that this mentality, this whole energy surrounding this shit is problematic. What about us as black women? Because we might have bigger noses or higher cheekbones, or you know what I'm saying? Because we might have features that they've now deemed masculine, which who decided that? Like, everybody got to stop acting like their standard of beauty wasn't handed down to them from their society and the environment, the TV shows, the magazines, the books, the music, the art. Everything you've seen has given you your perspective on why you do the things you do. I was listening to some white woman on TikTok argue about how she decided to get a nose job, and she decided to get lip filler just because she looked in the mirror and felt like that's what she should do. Yeah, bitch. But before that, how many other women did you see online talking about how they got a nose job? Or how many people in real life did you see talking about whatever, surgical changes they wanted to make? And this shit is absolutely based on how society makes you feel. And I watched this girl, Comrade Bella, on TikTok, and she does debates and stuff about feminism and all of the things. And her point was, now women are getting labia surgeries. That is not something that people were doing in the early 2000s or the 90s. Nobody was going and getting labia fucking surgeries. The reason why that's a thing now is because people have become addicted to corn, put the P. And in that, they've now decided to start picking apart women's nether region. So now women, calling the shit roast beef and all of that. So now women are going to the doctor to have surgery about a part of their body that nobody sees but somebody that's supposed to love that shit either way. Once y'all realize how nasty and trifling these niggas really are, you will stop trying to bend your body into a pretzel for perfection that nobody should be trying to obtain. It's weird. It's weird. Bitch, you went and got your labias cut because so it could look cuter to a nigga that should be grateful to just be around it. It's like women don't know that they are guaranteed orgasm makers for most of these niggas. Like, the ratio of men having orgasms upon having sex, or not even really having sex. How many times are niggas having orgasms from they dick touching your leg? Like, have we not all experienced some nigga all accidentally and shit? Like, you didn't get nothing out of it. You was just standing there, and the nigga done came in his jeans. What is going on? But you want us to believe that we're on equal footing, when it comes to sexual pleasure, they really be out here selling that shit to the girls, acting like these niggas is out here tearing the coochie up in a good way. No, they tearing it up all right with an ice pack and a visit to the goddamn gyno for a UTI medication. Yeah. Yeah. The fuck? And another thing, women, I want y'all to actually sit down. And this is something for my girls that really fuck with me. Everybody, you ain't got to do this, but I would just implore you to, just so you can open your mind up and have a little bit more empathy, not only for other people, because you need to have it for yourself. And I think sometimes we don't realize we don't even have the empathy that we don't have for other people. We don't have it for ourselves either. Like, to me, what has become more and more clear to me is that when people act a certain way towards other people, it is a sign that they don't really love themselves and they're just projecting that outwardly on other people. Okay? You know how they say, "Oh, happy motherfuckers ain't hating." That's an extension of that. Okay? That's an extension of that. Um Damn, I forgot what I was about to say. I was about to say something. Oh yeah, about making other people miserable. Hold up. Let me back it up. I had one shot, bitch. Let me back it up. Okay. About damn, I lost it. I lost it. Oh yeah. Them trying to convince you that men and women like are having the same, like they're having a equal experience in sex. Not all the time. That's what I wanted y'all to do. I want y'all to really think about coercion. I want you to really think about coercion. I've been very reflective in this time because it's my birthday and I'm 37, and I'm very reflective. So I think about the good and the bad of my personality, where I am now, where I was before, and I feel like I'm much different than I even was last year in the way that I'm thinking and the way that I'm feeling about myself. And one of the things I'm starting to realize is having and you realize it but you don't really realize it, having a lot of your sexual experiences be through coercion is a way for you to be lazy in bed, but it's also it becomes like a trauma response. So like, how everybody thinks that girls, thank you. Y'all know how everybody thinks that girls like, violent men, or we like men that's pushing and pulling and all of that. I really want y'all to think about the times that somebody has coerced you into sex. Think about how there were times that you had a good time and you wanted it and you was glad that you did it. But then think about the times that you didn't. The times that you didn't want to do it and you did it anyway. And the reason why you did it is not because you really wanted to, but because you wanted the person to leave you alone. Because you didn't want them to get an attitude with you. Because you didn't want them to change their mind about some shit they said they were going to do that you needed them to do. And, whether it fix something around the house or give them money or drop you off, some whatever the fuck it is, you have to realize how we are being trained to be coerced from the very beginning. Reading the Diddy trial shit has really made me look back on how often I was being coerced or bullied into sex and relationships with people because I did not want to be perceived as mean, because people were always acting like I was mean when I wasn't, or when I wasn't attempting to. And so then I would have this response of, I'm not mean, I'm not rude, I'm not whatever you think I am, just because you can't deal with my honesty or how my energy shows up. So you assign something to me. And so I would go out of my way to prove that that's not how I was. I don't want to be um vapid or shallow and only liking people for stupid reasons, or reasons I think are problematic, like liking people just because they light skin or they have curly hair or light eyes, or liking people just because they're thin, like all of that type of shit. I really wanted to like unwrap myself from things like that because I didn't want to be that person to people. And I think that looking back on it, it is obviously a direct reflection of how I'm being raised in this controlling environment where I can't always say how I feel. I can't even express being tired or aggravated at certain times because it's perceived as disrespect. And if I'm disrespecting an adult, then it's okay for the adult to abuse me. So now I have to control everything about myself at a very, very early age. You become a people pleaser and you don't even know it. You don't even recognize it. The way that translates in relationships is not always to men meaning to do it, but men being raised as boys to try to get sex out of girls no matter what, meaning that it's okay to lie. Didn't y'all see me? I know some of y'all might have saw the breakdown I did, but these are your regular men working regular jobs. They're not rich, they're not poor, they're not your Pookie and your Ray Rays. They have jobs and all of this. And what are they gonna say about how they move about their interactions with women, that in their minds it is okay to lie to you or coerce you into doing shit because it's the only way that you're going to give them a chance? Once you've actually heard men admit that, you then start to realize how much of this shit is them really trying to weigh you down, ignoring what you want in a moment because all they care about is what they want. But how they frame what they want to be in alignment with what you want, it's how you start to get confused about what's best for you versus what's best for another person. Everybody in here wants to start snoring on me right now. So I'm about to get off here in a minute. Because it's about to be late anyway. But the coercion, you guys, the coercion. I'm just saying, like, I really didn't peep it. I didn't realize it at first. You know what I mean? To the point that it was what I was attracted to. Now that I'm older, I'm really like looking back and realizing how many times I was uncomfortable, how many times I didn't want to do something, how many times I was raw, how many times I said stop and it didn't stop. You know what I mean? Like, just thinking, I had to like really think about the shit. And it's not that the person is doing it in the way that, oh, I'm a be nefarious and really try to hurt this woman. Yes and no. Yes and no. Because they're being taught that that's okay. They're being taught that it's okay to lie to you. It's okay to coerce you. It's okay to bully you a little bit. It's so, you know what I mean? And you perceive it as them applying pressure when you tell somebody no, and then they keep trying and keep trying. And then women get to a point that because they're used to being coerced, when they're not being coerced, they think that the person is not interested because the person is not trying to force an interaction with them. And that's a thing that women, who are in these situations have to like unlearn. And that is the difference between allowing somebody to, woo you or show interest in you in a way that you feel like you should get as a woman, is another thing between that and what we've been taught to do, as far as if he not trying to break your fucking door down, you don't want it. And a lot of what we are drawn to, and what I see women in the comments saying that they like and what they want and all of that, it sounds like you want somebody to take advantage of you. It sounds like you want somebody to take your choice away. It sounds like you find it as a turn on. And usually when women are finding it as a turn on, it's because they've been abused in some way. It is. They don't realize it themselves. Because I didn't realize it. But it takes time to like unwrap your mind from what you understand to be true based on your upbringing. And a part of my upbringing was that as long as somebody was showing up a certain way, they could abuse you. All they got to do is say the right thing, get the right gift. You know what I'm saying? Uh Baby Boy. Do y'all remember on Baby Boy? Right after uh Jody hits Yvette, he backhanded her, blacked her eye. Y'all remember that? What did he do? Takes her to the bedroom, eats her out. Like that's literally like the process of how somebody will do some fucked up shit to you that you really should not forgive, but they will hurry up in this very vulnerable moment and do something that you might like at another time and use it to coerce you into making them feel better about what they just did. You know what I'm saying? And a woman having a response to it where it feels good and you're hurting right now, and pleasure makes you feel better about what just happened to you, even though later you're going to feel terrible about it because it's like he really think that's all he got to do. And I'm going to just get over the fact that you just hit me. You did something that you always do. You ate me out. Wow. I remember one time a nigga got me a whole little basket with a whole bunch of stuff in it that he knew I liked after he put his hands on me. And, because he didn't normally do things like that, I was like, oh, that's sweet. That's nice. And then that warmed me to him. And that's how we got back together. I was not where I am now then. And so that's why a lot of times I don't mind going back and forth with people in the comments about these things, because I feel like sometimes people just haven't gotten there yet. It hasn't ding, like the moment hasn't happened yet, and it'll happen at some point. But other times I just kind of feel like I don't know like I don't know what to say to people sometimes that just feel like they want to fight the truths of some of these situations, man. John Singleton said it had to be oral versus intercourse, so it wasn't considered grape. And that's another thing, y'all. That's another thing. Because I was talking about that with the Remy Ma situation, talking about grapists don't eat you out or don't eat your butt. And I'm like, yes, they do. Like, what part of this don't you understand? It has to be mental. It has to be mental, y'all. That's why it's coercion, because it's mental. It's not just physical. Before people assault somebody, they usually do some type of mental coercion, meaning dominating the person mentally first. And then they apply the physical once they see they can dominate them mentally, which is usually how people pick out victims. You see if they acquiesce. That's why it is grooming that Diddy would make the Making a Band kids do all of that crazy shit, because back then we didn't think about it this way. We think, oh, you're just trying to prove that you want the job that bad and you're willing to work and be disciplined and do the work, to get this. Like, that's the lie. That's a lie. That's not what that was about. That was about basically applying pimp logic to these kids to see which ones will respond the best to your manipulation, to your narcissistic abuse. And the ones that respond the best to it are the ones that stick around the longest. But it's a test. If I ask you to do something ridiculous that you feel like is disrespectful to you and you do it anyway, that means that you're going to continue to allow me to exploit you. That's what it means. We didn't perceive it that way. That's why when people say shit like, oh, you knew what you was getting into. No, people don't. They really don't know what the fuck they be getting into. And I wish y'all would stop saying that shit, because it's really not true. And then another thing, when it comes to like Terrence Howard, remember Terrence Howard said that shit about, oh, once you give up your manhood. And I was like, but it's not about manhood. And this is when I start to understand the trans conversation, because once you understand that just that attitude around anything is a problem, you start to see how what they're saying is a problem, right? When he said that giving up your manhood, he then makes it about the coercion, you giving up your manhood, meaning that it's gay, meaning that if it's happening to a man, then it's a problem. But when it happens with a woman, it's not called that and it's not seen as bad, which means when these same niggas that don't want this shit done to them by other men do it to women, it's okay. And that's when you have to understand, like, just rolling a certain way is like just thinking a certain way is fucked up. Like, it's not about your manhood. And the fact that you think it's about manhood means that when a woman is disrespected like that, you won't view it the same, because it's not a man. So it's not her being, that's why, think about the way men will say that they need respect. Women need love, or women need attention. Men need respect. As if women don't also need respect. And it's because they like to frame themselves as the ones that are needing something that the women aren't needing. So that means it's okay to not be fair. It means that the man can be respected and the woman cannot be respected because women don't need respect. The fuck? Who told you that? But that's what I mean. Like, it's just scary. It's scary out there, y'all. It's really scary out there. Once you recognize how the way people are responding to these things on social media, and I love when people get in my comments and try to act like it's just celebrities, it's just reality shows. It's not that serious. Do you not understand that this also happens in real life and that a lot of us are triggered by these things because something similar has happened to us in real life? That's also why we like watching things. That's why we're interested in things, because we're humans watching other humans' experiences, regardless to how you view it. Acting like people are weirdos for being triggered by some of this shit is just bullshit. It's just bullshit. Hold up. Thank you for the super chat. Banshee Baby 21, thank you for the super chat. People lose sight of the face that abusers are very charismatic, which makes not believing victims of celebrity abusers especially sick because that charisma is would help make them famous. Oh, y'all. Speaking of that, I was watching a clip of Melissa Ford on that dumbass podcast. Thank you for becoming a member of Media Circus. I was watching that dumbass podcast that Joe Budden does, and Mel was trying to make this point about how crazy this shit is with powerful men, and she couldn't even get to her point because every time she said something, Joe Budden would pull something from what she said to divert the attention away from what her point was, and he knew what her point was. Her point was that it doesn't matter what a woman does. If a rich man decides to set his sights on you, he can ruin your fucking life. And she was talking about Brett Favre, just like I told y'all. And she starts off with what was crazy was how that woman that he decided to start sending emails and dick pics to had never even had any like interactions with him in real life, and she still ended up being branded a whore and a home wrecker and all of this shit. And people were making it seem like they showed interviews of people actually talking about it as if she was having an affair with him. They had never even been in the same room. He saw her on the TV, decided that he would get her information from her employers, which should have been illegal, and he then proceeded to harass her. She had a conversation with a fellow reporter, and Joe Budden decides to pull out where the reporter worked at, which is a sleazy publication for sports, which focuses on their personal lives more than their stats. And that's not even relevant to the point, because at the end of the day, what we found out, the man himself who did it said, if anybody are some snakes in the situation, it's me and Brett. That's what the man said after he hacked her emails so that he could get the information, because she wouldn't give it to him. And then she didn't even tell him the full story. In the documentary, she said, that's not as bad as what I went through with the Jets. Those were her words. She didn't say anything about Brett. He then went and hacked her emails and had probably just cross-search with Jets emails and shit like that, because I'm sure they have like some inner server for their sports team that was able to be searched if you're a good journalist and know how to do that type of shit. So he hacked her emails, found the emails that Brett was sending her, reported it, and it ruined her career. She didn't even do anything. That's the point Melissa Ford was trying to make, is that this woman didn't even have a relationship with this man. And because of the way people defend their heroes, they destroyed that woman's career and made her the bad guy in a scenario that she didn't even fucking do anything. Joe Budden was trying to point to the fact that she shouldn't have had the conversation with her coworker because her coworker works at this sleazy publication. So you should have known that he was going to, he was going to say something. He was going to hack her emails and put the shit out as a story. She should have known that because of where they work. As if They don't work at a podcast. And Mel then makes the point that, okay, well, if I'm talking to you, whatever nigga she was talking to, and we over here off camera and I'm talking, I should definitely have the understanding that you're not gonna get online and spread my shit, right? They're all acting like, well, if whatever you talking about got something to do with our job, then we gonna talk about it. I would have been like, bet. That's clocked. So that means that if I ever find out anything about one of you motherfuckers and I want to get up here and bring it up because I feel like y'all then came at me sideways about something I didn't say it on this podcast, I'm gonna bring that shit up on camera and see how y'all fucking like it. That would have been my response to them niggas. Real life. Real rap. Babe, why are you snowing in the background of my video? You snowing in the background of my video, nigga. I'm about to get off. I'm about to get off. You're killing me. Goddamn killing me. Thank you. TJ, thank you for becoming a member. Um, but yeah, like I didn't recognize the time that I was essentially harassment, but I knew I was extremely uncomfortable. Child, how many times do we be uncomfortable and then we move around and then motherfuckers act like we was tripping? We wasn't tripping. We was picking up on something, and people like to act like that's not what they was doing when they was really trying to put you in an uncomfortable situation, especially niggas. But yeah, but like just the way she couldn't even get her point out without Joe Budden coming to the rescue of Brett Favre in some type of way to make this the woman's fault. Oh, she was stupid for having that conversation. As if that absolves Brett Favre from ruining this woman's career and his fans helping ruin her career because he decided to send her dick pics. That's wild. That's so wild. um And I also think it's interesting how everybody is like coming to this conclusion that a lot of the women that defend these niggas are the women that wish these men would pick them because these women feel so terrible about themselves and so insecure. And it's like, it's that very mindset that gets these other women in situations with these men. You don't even realize that it's all about having low self esteem that would allow you to be mistreated by somebody. Because when it initially happens, you don't have the confidence in order to feel like one time was enough. Hey, Brian, when it comes, thank you, Simone, for the super chat. When it comes to the trans topic, do you feel trans women should play in bio women's sports? Can you see how some women feel that's a way of pushing women out of some spaces? I can. I absolutely can. But I would then ask you to show me at large and in a real way where that's happening. And please don't get me like wrong. I get it. I get it. I didn't like when Caitlyn Jenner was named Woman of the Year on like what the female, whatever the fuck the sports magazine is, Sports Center, whatever the shit it was. I can't remember what the magazine was, child. But one year, ESPN, I think it was ESPN. But either way, I remember feeling a way about that, like another opportunity where y'all fucking over a woman, right? And I do get us not wanting to receive, excuse me, trans women because of the way like Caitlyn Jenner is kind of framed. Like just some kind of creepy old white man that wants to get the privilege of being a woman without really having to deal with what that really means on some level. But I want y'all to understand that that's really not most people's experience. And there aren't a lot of sports that like this is really happening in. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really not. Like there are no like trans women playing women's basketball as far as I can tell, right? Like I know y'all think this is happening in schools and shit, but like I think that when it is happening in a school, the ES the ESPY awards, thank you. When it is happening in schools, like as far as somebody that's stronger than your girl child wrestling her on a wrestling team or some shit like that, I do understand that. But guess what? I also think that women should know how to beat these niggas' asses regardless. So if you want your daughter to be training to beat other girls' asses, she needs to be able to beat one of them niggas' asses too. Okay? Like, I get it though. I do understand it. And so that's why I'm not opposed to people on a micro scale fighting for what they feel like is fairness in those situations. But the legislation to take trans people out of the armed services, the making it about the fucking bathrooms like that, like get over it. Like, just get the fuck over it, bro. People can do something to you anywhere. Them being trans has nothing to do with it. Like, a straight man can walk in the bathroom on you if he feel like ain't nobody gonna be able to stop him. Like, um but I just want us to be realistic, right? Because I feel like that's not happening as much as people think that that's happening. And I also want y'all to clock how they did that to a natural, biological woman. The chick who, the boxer, right? The boxer chick, I forgot her name, but the boxer chick, what, earlier this year, beat somebody ass, and they or didn't win or something. No, 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 against that white girl. Yeah, no, it was the Puerto Rican girl, I think, against, I think she was Puerto Rican, against that white girl, and that white girl was playing dirty as fuck and kept headbutting her and fucked her eye up, and they was fighting and shit, and then people got out there and acted like that girl was a man. Oh, was that the Arab lady at the Olympics? Okay, y'all, please help me, because I'm y'all know it'd be too many stories that I be forgetting and bringing them together and can't remember where and who and what. It was Middle Eastern. Okay, okay, help me out, y'all. Thank you. But like that situation, yes, Aman Khalif, yes, but that's how being so like mindful of y'all feel like men that are transitioning, because I did see that fucking swimmer that transition to be a female swimmer so that you could beat the women because you couldn't beat the men, being twice them women's size and shit. Yeah, I do feel like that's not fair. But I also feel like that's not happening in the same manner as trans people being killed. I feel like that's not happening as much as trans people not being able to get a job because y'all feel like people shouldn't be trans and all of this shit. Like, the bigger issues, y'all don't really seem to have a problem with. These micro issues that are being blown out of proportion seem to keep, stay at the forefront of y'all's minds and shit. Okay? And so that's why I want y'all to like think about it from the other standpoint of how a real woman, just because she did not show up the way people feel like a woman should show up, they decided she wasn't a woman and was trying to take her title from her. That's why the transphobia is an issue. You feel me? You feel me? It's not really about the white guy that doesn't want to compete with other men, so he transitions so he can become a woman. Like, it's not really about those people. It's about the women that don't show up a certain way, so you decide they're not really a woman. It's about the women that transition to become trans men and still have babies and don't want to be considered a woman just because they had a baby, because they no longer identify with what it means to be a woman in our society. Feel me? So I feel you, but you also have to think about the other side of things. And I feel like on a micro level, those things can be handled. But blowing it out of proportion to the point that there are black people that were telling me that they now like Trump because he's transphobic, you're no different than white people that are voting against your own self-interest, living in a trailer park, struggling, scratching, and surviving good times, fighting against DEI and welfare when you on welfare and your white wife got a job through DEI. Girl, girl, do you see? It was Iman, thank you. And I believe an East Asian lady who didn't look feminine enough to these white European folk. Exactly. And that's why being a woman cannot be um it cannot be described, identified, or what's the word I'm looking for? It just, yeah, it can't be the meaning of what a woman is, cannot be so simple as to, and I get what everybody's saying, like a adult female is what y'all consider a woman. Absolutely. But if we're being real, we understand that that means something in our society to be an adult female. To be a woman in our society means something that a lot of people don't want to have to do, and they don't have to. Like, do y'all know how many women grow facial hair and body, like women grow facial hair and body hair? The only thing a trans woman is doing is, or a trans man is doing, is not stopping the growth of the hair. People are not always taking hormones. I know so many women, and I recently saw a beautiful woman with a chin full of hair. And I didn't understand what was happening, because it's not my steez, but it's also not my way to make people feel uncomfortable or to stare or to be rude. Like, it's just not my way. Um, but I was like, I was like, that's that's interesting. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like people should be able to exist however they feel like, girl, yeah. Like women that wear hair under their arms. I can't do it. I'm not there yet. But I also sometimes am so it probably, that's what I'm saying. It possibly can. But there are also, like, what I'm saying is, like, women are growing hair anyway. Women are growing hair, and women are going through extenuating circumstances to not grow hair. And that will sometimes mean masculinity for them. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, like it's not something they're doing by choice. Like, it's because of something hormonal in their body, but they're still now being seen as less of a woman because they have a characteristic that's seen as masculine, like fucking body hair. I don't remove any of my body hair. It's there for a reason. You're right. You're right. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I cannot, like, my legs. I don't like my hair is thin. So like people who shave their arms, I don't do that. I'm not shaving my arms. That's no. I'm not doing that. Um, my legs I shave ever so often, but the hair is so fine you can't really see it. So I just be like, I'm not overly doing that either. The only thing I can't get jiggy with is under my arms. Like, I cannot get jiggy with that shit. I don't like how it feels when it grows. Like, I don't like that. I would much prefer to like get that waxed, right? And then like I actually like how it feels when I have Brazilians and shit, like, for the rubbing around and all of that. But at the same time, I don't feel like going through that pain all the time. And I damn sure don't want nobody like first of all, nobody's turning down coochie. But like the idea that I could be less attractive or less feminine because I don't feel like going sit through a painful ass waxing. Yeah, yeah, nah. Especially because that wasn't like our the way we identify women has changed over the years. And that's another thing, because in the 70s it was okay for a bitch to have hair on her coochie. 80s, even the early 90s, bitch. It wasn't until the 2000s that it now became a thing for you to be waxing everything like a bald kitty. Okay? Looking like fucking Mr. Bigglesworth or some shit. I I used to hear back in the day that if you didn't want a woman with hair on the cat, you wanted a child. And honestly, those women were usually right when they said that about these niggas. So that's another thing. Listen, if you don't eat the fruit with the skin on it, bitch, if you shaving the hair off the kiwi, you better test these niggas out. You better come with full bush. Okay? Full bush. Also, I feel like it'd be a little bit cooler to me sometimes when you got bush. I don't know why. This conversation's for another time. Either way, you know what I'm saying? It depends. Like in a humid climate, yes. Somewhere where there's a breeze, probably not. Oh, I'm not judging the girls, y'all. Please don't get me wrong. But I'm talking about why, like the reason why somebody would feel bad that they're growing hair in a part of their body that's not feminine for a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like that's unfair to women that are going through PCOS and things, hormonal issues that would cause them to grow hair in a way that they normally would not have before, or in a way that other women don't, child, whatever. But we're not the same. So now I'm not a woman because of this. No, that's not true. But that's the way this bullshit works when it comes to how people are identifying what a man and a woman is in our society. It is now more than just being female or male and adult. It's more than that. Because now people tell you that you acting like a man. Think about how much they always telling black women how we act like men and we aggressive and all of that. Like just total ignorance of our experience, what it means to be us, how much defending it takes to be us because of the way y'all like to attack us. And then you talking about we masculine. And then think about the way every time a man harms a woman, that's an excuse. That's an excuse that's being used. When Meg got shot by Tory Lanez, everybody was talking about how big she was because being tall or being more solid as a woman is considered masculine. So now we can act like it was okay for a nigga to shoot her because she's so big. Before everybody knew what was going on, that was a speculation that because she was so much bigger than him, she must have attacked him. She must have did something to him in order for him to do that. That's what people were saying. So that's why some of these things, the way we view what a woman is and what a man is, and you really have to be real with yourself about what that means and stop being willfully obtuse and weaponizing your fucking ignorance because you want to stick to your side of things. It's okay to just open your mind up a little bit. It's okay. It's not really gonna hurt you. Yes, of course, we're not forgetting about the intersex folks, okay? Which upon my research I felt like was a smaller percentage, but then when you realize how many women have big ass clits, I believe those are intersex people as well on some level. I'm not sure, don't quote me, bitch, but either way, like I wish you like most of them are still women, I believe, like more so, like because we're the, like I don't know if y'all know, but women are the default gender. Like this nigga was a girl and then grew a dick. Like all of the men out there, y'all was a girl at first, and then y'all grew a dick. I don't know if y'all know. Simone, thank you for the super chat. I get what you're saying. I have no problem with trans people, but I do feel like you can't erase biology. You can't transition. You can transition, but you can't erase science. Hope I don't sound um no, no, you don't. But this is what I want you to understand. The point is not to erase the biology. The point is not to erase the biology because it cannot be erased. So if you understand that it can't be erased, there ain't no point in arguing with motherfuckers about it because you know it ain't going nowhere regardless. Meaning that it doesn't matter if somebody does anything to their body parts. It doesn't matter what they wear. If somebody wants to dig up their fucking DNA, it is going to show up as male or female. Male or female, not woman or man. You see what I'm saying? It's just we have to break apart these things because the way we construct them, the way we put them together, it's kind of rooted in like this white supremacist heteronormative, if it's not like this we have to stone it type of mentality. You feel me? um but yeah, I don't think the point is to erase anything, but I also feel like, and hear me out on this, the way trans people respond to not wanting to be seen as what they were before, not wanting to be remembered for what they were before, all of that, on some level I feel like that's a response from these rigid ass rules that are put in place in the first place. I think a lot of people are rejecting the conditioning, and the rejection of the conditioning is to go in the exact opposite direction than the one everybody's trying to force you into, the extremes, right? So if y'all are trying to extremely force somebody to be a certain way, if they're a boy or a girl, meaning that boy blue, girl pink, right? If y'all are forcing that in whatever ways y'all are enforcing that on children, as they grow up, they will then be trying to grow out of the way y'all have, made them grow, or they'll internalize it, right? And I also feel like because of the gender rigid, rigid mindsets, it's what forces, I think, trans people to think that they have to be matching down below and up top with the outside so that they can be validated in their identity. That's why it's gender affirming surgery, because basically it's affirming how they view themselves on the outside, because our society, well, inside too, our society tells you that you can't have a penis and dress like what we identify as a woman. Our society tells us we won't legitimize that. We won't validate you. So trans people then feel like, okay, well, I need to go and do this. So I need to go and do that so that you will validate how I view myself. Because you can say what you want to say, but in real life, people want to see how they see themselves reflected back to them. If I know I'm beautiful, but it's not being reflected back to me from other people, I'm sometimes going to question if I'm actually beautiful. Like, that's just the way it goes. So I do feel like on some level that that's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I feel like is what's happening. And I also feel like people have every right to have that experience and make those choices. I just feel like if we were to unwrap our minds from our rigid ideals about gender and how men and women should be showing up in this world, then maybe the kids would feel a little bit more safe to show up however they show up, and they wouldn't feel the need to make such permanent changes in adulthood because y'all told them they couldn't be two things at once. Y'all told them they couldn't have a dick and, wear pink nail polish. Y'all told them they couldn't have a vagina and not want to fuck men. And like, like y'all keep trying to force them into boxes. And I do think to some point, this is, I'm not going to be in that fucking box. Or if I have to fit in a box, then this is how I'm gonna fit in the box. That's what it's given. That's really it. If I have to fit in the box because y'all are forcing me to, then I'm gonna do something so that I can be in the box that I want to be in. I do not want to experience you putting me in a box I don't feel like I want to be in. And that's that uh whoever came with 30-minute lunch breaks makes me sick. Now I'm about to go. I'm about to get out of here, y'all, because I want to watch this episode of this new show on Prime with Jessica Biel called The Better Sister. Yeah, girl. Larry about to wake up from this nap and watch this show with me because he off for the rest of this week. And so he don't have to go to sleep, even though he been driving all day. Let me stop being an asshole. He been driving all day. I just I be enjoying us, spending time together. He worked so much. It was nice. Him being up and able to do shit with me and not being tired from work. My God, today. It's a great birthday. Because trans men often still act like women by act like, I mean, they can't not remember what it felt like in society as a woman. So they're still more accommodating than men will ever be. And that's another thing. And if it's not that, then they've internalized and become worse than the niggas. Girl, you don't win for losing either way, everybody. But I just do want to say, none of us live up to these social constructs. Exactly. So that's the point. That's the point. Since none of us really live up to this shit, there's no point in trying to beat other people up about it. You know what I'm saying? Just because you feel like you a little bit more fishier than they are, girl, whatever. Give a fuck. My Bali trip is in July. I really want to buy me some new luggage, y'all. I didn't buy. I should have bought it last year because I lost all my base points. I didn't know that they expire. I'm so pissed off. I had 1,900 points saved up. I do not feel like spending $600 on new luggage, but I feel like I might have to, shake some titties on this YouTube page. Okay, listen. My wife told me she was taking just a nap. That was 3 hours ago, still snoring. Child, sometimes it be like that. Naps be the best. Y'all, yesterday, so I did the tea around town in Houston. That was so fun. So cute. Me and my cousin went. When I got back, I came downstairs, changed my clothes, laid on the sofa. Lyric was laying in the bed, and I was just gonna leave him to be in the bed, but I wanted to be downstairs with the dogs. So I came downstairs and I'm laying down. He eventually came downstairs. Child, when I say we laid down on that sofa and napped for like a good hour, and it was the best fucking nap. I saw somebody online talking about naps or they don't trust people who take naps. I'm like, and I don't trust people who don't trust people that take naps. The fuck wrong with you? That's another thing, y'all. And I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna go because I keep saying I'm gonna go. But y'all know how much I talk. This is what I'm gonna say and then I'm gonna go. The one thing I want us to like really pay attention to in this Diddy trial situation, outside of the Rico and DV and the SA and all of that, is the can't stop, won't stop, hustle, work hard, sleep when you're dead mentality. That is a like that's capitalism. That's capitalism and it's exploitation. And we have been taught that it's hard work and pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. And so we don't want to take naps and we don't want to sleep. And when we have time to do nothing, we feel guilty. So we have to do something, but we're exhausted. And if you like me, you'll work yourself into getting sick. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know the last time I really got like a cold or got the flu. And please, let me knock on wood, Jesus. Okay. But I don't know the last time I got sick for an extended period of time. I might get like a little post nasal drip. Child, you take some oregano, drop some Mucinex and a Benadryl at night. Boom, bow, pow. You good as new the next day. Okay. But I feel like the reason why I have not gotten pneumonia in the past few years, the reason why I have been not getting sick as much is because I am not stressing as much and I am taking better care of myself and I am resting when I am tired. And what used to happen is that I would work and work and work until y'all remember, if you've been following me for a long time, I used to do 11 videos in a fucking week. I used to work my ass off on YouTube. It is just now that I have decided I'm going to do what I want to do when I can. I'm going to at least try to, get out maybe 3 to 4 videos a week, but not 11 or 12 like I was doing at the height of reality TV, which is like your 2012, 13, 14 years. But I would work myself into getting sick. I would not stop. I would not take a day off. I would not relax until I got sick, when my body would force me to stop. And now I've realized that I have to make the time and I have to make the conscious effort. So that's why there's the massage fund. Shout out to y'all. Okay, because I got 4 racked up. I'm going to get one tomorrow. Probably gonna get one to him. And get me 2 more, okay, in the next week or two. But you have to take care of yourself. You have to rest. You have to sleep. You cannot work yourself into the ground for your dream or anybody else's. And I feel like when we were watching Making a Band back in the day, those of us that remember it, we remember Diddy promoting hustle culture and not sleeping and you sleep when you dead and all of this shit. That is abuse and that is exploitive. That is not healthy, and we are not supposed to be living like that. We are not supposed to be living like that, y'all. We are not. So stop doing that to yourself. Because to me, it showed up for me in a way that when I have time to just chill and do nothing, I feel guilty. That's crazy. You should not feel guilty for resting. You should not feel guilty for being tired. And being a good worker was once so important to me. And so I remember what it was like to push myself to my fucking limits for a job. So while everything about this Diddy trial shit is triggering and exploitive and fucked up, which is why it's so weird to see so many people trying to argue that he's not as fucked up as he is, because he was doing it to so many people everywhere all the time, including in the way he was working them people to fucking death. Working them people to death, y'all, is insane. The same type of abuse he put the assistants through when it comes to them not resting, them being on call, them doing whatever, them receiving abuse. Y'all, that's the same thing he was doing to Cassie when it came to her fucking people for a living when she was supposed to be singing. And another thing that makes it coercion is that most of these people are being brought into his life in this criminal enterprise under false pretense. Cassie was brought in to be a singer, but you turned her into a sex worker. All of the assistants are turned into yes men, henchmen for a fucking Marvel character, Nino Brown drug dealing villain. The security guards are now henchmen as well, running behind a girl that's trying to get away and capturing her and bringing her back to Puff. And y'all gotta know, hey diva, hey girl, y'all gotta know that the people who were protecting him have the same mentality as the people in the comments trying to argue about him, like trying to argue on his behalf, trying to say, oh, these people not innocent. You know what? Thank you. You know what? Y'all are absolutely right. Nobody's innocent. You're right. Nobody's innocent. And guess what? That still does not make it right. And it still don't make it legal. Paying prostitutes to have sex is illegal. Having somebody come to first of all, I don't know how y'all didn't realize how diabolical it was to have the stripper come to the hotel thinking it was going to be a room full of women, only to find out that it was one woman and a man that if he really wanted to could have bent you over and fucked you against your will. I think that's what was turning him on too. The fact that there were men that really didn't want to be in that situation but wanted the money so that they did it anyway. But everybody be acting like they don't make those types of sacrifices all the time, doing shit they really don't want to do or they really not comfortable with for whatever fucking reason. I went into the office a few weeks ago. I literally got a headache. I saw you talking about that. I saw you talking about that. I was like, diva. You need to be doing exactly what you be doing. Okay, work from home. So I don't have to be up here waiting on my YouTube videos all day, girl. Okay? Because I refreshes my page looking for you. Rest is paramount to our body's healing. Yes, it is. And I think I be like traveling in my dreams. So sometimes my best sleep is in the day. It's the weirdest thing. That's one of the best things about my life right now is the way I work when I feel like it. I'll do this shit forever. Everybody always trying to ask me what's the next thing? What you gonna do? Bitch, if I could do this shit forever, I would. Like if I could just keep learning and gaining knowledge and coming to y'all and making it entertaining and relatable for y'all how I do and making more and more money to, by doing it, bitch, I do this shit forever. What I need to do something else for? What do I need to do something else for? I feel like I am exactly walking in my purpose, doing exactly what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. And until God says move, this where I'm at. Okay. Yes, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, Diva. Um, you getting good sleep when you see your dream. Oh yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, I be traveling all over the place. I think I go to different timelines for myself in my dreams sometimes. That's why sometimes my dad isn't dead and I be having a hard time with reconciling that. Like I'm not computing it in the dream exactly. Like there's always an underlying, I know he's like, oh, but Diva, remember we was talking about that feeling of how there is a knowing that's happening at all times, even though we're not really conscious of it. That's how I be feeling in my dreams sometimes. Like I know it's real, but I'm in the dream feeling like it's real. It's the craziest thing. Yeah, you're exactly where you need to be. I think so. And I think even all of this shit show shit, like this attack on black women and all of that, it's kind of made me feel even more steadfast in the energy and the what I'm trying to cultivate for myself and for the people around me. And that's a safe space. And that is somebody that y'all can come to and listen to these topics and feel relief that somebody understands and is handling it with care and isn't being fucked up or, willfully obtuse about the situation for whatever dumbass reason that people come up with to get on this internet and trigger and continue to promote harmful, fucked up mindsets about very serious topics that everybody in life goes through. But because y'all can say the person got money or they pretty or they're a celebrity or some shit, we can now act like it's not happening to a real person. Yeah, I need y'all. I need to unwrap y'all from some of this shit. And so me and Adiva gonna be down here doing our job. And when y'all on our frequency, y'all fuck with us. And I believe because we taking care of y'all in that way, then we'll be taken care of in the way that we need to be taken care of. And that's just on God. Okay? All right. But I got y'all. And I love y'all. And I just wanted to come and rap a taste. Okay. I appreciate y'all being here. 863 people in the bushes, bitch. I appreciate y'all for coming through. I had a wonderful vacation. Okay. I ain't gonna put the camera on my husband over here asleep with his mouth open, but shout out to him because he's just he's a blessing. He's a blessing. Okay. It's my guy. And shout out to my family. I just had a really good time and I enjoy spending time and being around people that are about exchanging good energy, about talking, about having a good time, about, making each other feel good and safe in a space. Like I really am starting to appreciate those experiences because it's so often that it's fleeting for me. You know what I mean? Like people pretend to be better than they are. And when you find out who they really are, child, and I've been having that happen over and over again, it is very much getting easier to deal with. Safe and seen. Yes. 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 I love that. And I would like to continue to curate that in my space and what I got going on. So I definitely feel like there are women, maybe some of y'all are watching. I think I saw Ty in here earlier, but there are some women that have, always kind of poured into me in such a way and said shit like, Bondi, you know, I see you kind of like on the Oprah level. And I never could see that or understood what the fuck that would even mean for somebody like me because I don't want to be a billionaire. Just to be clear, just a few million would do me just fine, girl. Um, but I feel like I know what that means now. I can see what that means now. Um, you know, it kind of be giving ratchet Super Soul Sunday, bitch. It kind of be giving ratchet Super Soul Sunday, bitch. So that's what I'm gonna keep trying to give, and hopefully I'll curate more of a environment based in that. Um, but yeah, I love y'all. I fuck with y'all. Y'all make sure y'all go follow my diva Erica De Niro TV. She's the best. It's my girl. You know, and I'll see y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.